Our mind has two main functions. One is sensing and the other is thinking. Sensing means perceiving sense objects through sense organs. Thinking means making mental images, a series of mental images by way of thinking, regarding the sensory perceptions, what is perceived by the senses. Sensory perception is natural, spontaneous, unintentional. The eye naturally can see colors, objects, images, pictures and so on. The ear can hear sounds. The nose can smell different odors. The tongue can taste different tastes. The skin of the body can sense physical objects. They happen naturally, spontaneously, automatically, without our intention. For example, seeing is unintentional, looking is intentional. Hearing is unintentional, listening is intentional. Thinking too is intentional because all our thoughts are self-centered. There is a thinker in thinking. We think, I am thinking. And I think of things I like, dislike or ignorant of. Therefore, thoughts are created or caused by our likes, dislikes and ignorance. Our main ignorance is with regard to sensory perceptions. No sense organ can know the actual reality of anything. Their capacity to sense objects, sensory objects, are limited. Our eyesight is limited. We cannot see certain colors in the rainbow. Our hearing is also limited. We can hear only certain limited sounds. We cannot hear even what a dog could hear. We cannot smell even what a dog would smell. Because our smelling capacity is limited, hearing capacity is limited, seeing capacity is limited. All our sense organs have a limited capacity to know the reality outside us. In fact, we can never know the actual reality outside us, the actual world inside us. We can experience only the world created by our sense organs. When you see a jumbo jet flying far away in the sky, we see it as a bird. The mighty sun or the mighty moon we see as small plates. We cannot see their real size. We cannot see their real nature. For example, the moon is a hot desert, but we see it as a cooling plate. It has no light of its own, but we can see a moonlight. All what we experience like that are illusions. We are suffering the illusion of the world that we experience. Illusion means all our mental images formed with the help of our sensory organs are mirages, illusions. They are, for example, the mental picture is like a picture hanging in the wall, or a picture in the TV, or in the cinema hall. They are only illusions. We see them as real, and we think that they are real, but actually they are not real. Therefore, the main weakness or the main defect of our mind is taking illusions as a reality, actual reality, though they are not. All our sensory experiences are illusions, though they appear real to us. Without knowing the reality, sometimes we like them or dislike them. When we like something, we get attached to it. When we dislike something, we resent it. When we cannot understand certain things, we ignore it. Ignorance, attachment, and resentment are really mental weaknesses or mental defects. Enlightenment means the complete eradication of ignorance, attachment, and resentment. That happens only when we are faced with the reality. It is through insight meditation, according to Buddha's teaching, that we can understand the real nature of things. For example, everything, every phenomenon we experience is born to decay and die. Whatever there is a beginning, there is an end. Our feelings, they have a beginning and they have an end. Birth and death. Thoughts, they are born to die. They are like waves. A wave is rising up to come down and vanish. When you understand this basic reality of the universe that we experience, our mind refrains from being attached to it, resenting it, or ignoring it. Non-ignoring is the path to enlightenment according to Buddha in a sutta called Bhaya Sutta that you get in the Kuddaka Nikaya volume 1 on page 142 in the Buddha Jayanti Tripitaka, printed in Sinhala letters. In that discourse called Bhaya Sutta, Buddha showed the shortest cut to nirvana to an ascetic called Bahya. He said, be aware of alertly all your sense experiences, sense perceptions, but do not think of them. That means using our natural sensing capacity and avoiding the intentional process of thinking. Real enlightenment, according to Buddha's first discourse called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, is the complete eradication of thinking process. Thinking process is a process of mental image making, a series of mental images is formed when we are thinking. In his first paean of joy, called Udana Vakya, after enlightenment, even in the very first paean of joy, Buddha uttered his words on Visankara Gatan Chitta. At the enlightenment, my mind stops thinking. That means the thinking aspect of the mind became inactive at the enlightenment. It became inactive because the root causes of our thinking process disappeared at the election, completely, got eradicated, got extinct. Likes, dislikes, and ignorance, according to Buddha, are the three main causes of our thinking process. Because we think of things that we like, we think of things that we dislike, and we think of things that we are ignorant of. Enlightenment means complete eradication of ignorance of the reality. Therefore, enlightenment means realizing the reality. The very word enlightenment is a metaphorical expression of that realization of the reality. Light means the disappearance of darkness. Darkness means ignorance, metaphorical. Mental darkness, that means the mind not perceiving the reality of things. The basic reality of the entire universe, according to Buddha, he referred to in his own language, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means all events, all phenomena in the universe are incidents, happenings. Every happening is the result of the universal energy. Energy is not a thing, but a creativity. The Buddha's words, anicca, can be translated as universal dynamism, or the universal creativity, or the universal God. the creator. According to Buddhism, there is no creator, but there is a creation. Everything that creates is subject to decay and death. Buddha referred to it as jati, jara, marana. Jati is birth of things, jara is decay of things, marana is the death of things, ending of things. The basic reality Buddha sees in the universe is every thing, there are no things, there are events. They are dynamic. Universal dynamism is the cause of all creations. Whatever that is created is subject to decay. Decay is a transformation. Transformation of thing is called dukkhata in Buddha's words. Anicca is the other word used by the Buddha to show the reality of the world. Nothing can retain a permanent identity. No soul. The basic teaching of the Buddha is there is no soul in the universe or in the God or in us. There is only a changing dynamic process, changing every moment. That is why the Greek philosopher called Heraclitus said, it is reported, he said, no one can step into the same river twice, because everything is in a dynamic process, and when we touch something once, we are not touching the same thing again. For example, according to Greek philosophers, everything in the universe is made of atoms. Atoms are dynamic. Electrons are moving very fast round the nucleus of an atom. Even in the nucleus, the protons and neutrons, they are rotating round themselves. There is nothing static in this world, everything is dynamic, it changes. Once you realize the reality, your mind abstains from being attached to anything that is dynamic, resenting anything that is dynamic, and ignoring that dynamism. That is the type of mind that one would realize at the Enlightenment. Enlightenment means complete eradication or extinction of likes, dislikes, and ignorance, or attachment, resentment, and ignorance. In Buddha's words, they are referred to as raga, dosa, moha. Raga is attachment, dosa is resentment, moha is ignorance, and that is enlightenment. And enlightenment is not possible by a thinking mind, because all thoughts are based on illusory experiences of our sense organs. Enlightenment means going beyond the illusory world. The Buddha's word loka refers to our mental world, because we don't experience anything beyond our mind. We experience only what is created by our mind with the help of signals given by our sense organs. The supermind Buddha referred to as lokottara, that means going beyond that illusory imaginary world of mental formations. Enlightenment means freedom from the formation of mental images. That is why the nirvana realized by the Supreme Bliss, realized by Nirvana is referred to as sunyata, meaning void or emptiness. That is, a mind completely empty of its content. What is the content of our mind? Our mind contains only mental images. All thoughts are mental images. Non-thinking mind is a mind free of the formation of mental images, then it is an empty mind. It is this empty mind the Buddha referred to as Nibbana or Nirvana in Sanskrit. Buddha referred to it as sunyata, means emptiness, the complete void, a mind free of mental images, free of thinking. And his very first sermon, Buddha said, all our suffering are caused by our thinking. He referred to our suffering as dukkhata or dukkha in his very first sermon and many other sermons. And in the very first sermon, he said, all mental sufferings are caused by our thought formations. They are referred to as panchakanda, 5 aggregates that go to. There are 5 aggregates according to Buddha's teaching that go to form or thought. Start with rupa, that is stimulation of a sense organ by some sense objects. The eye can hear some object and get stimulated by the light waves sent by the object. The ear can hear a sound and get stimulated. The nose can taste the smell, can get stimulated. The tongue can get stimulated by taste. The body can get stimulated by touch. Stimulation means electrical charge. The contact between the electrons of 2 objects. Eye is made of atoms. Every atom there are electrons. And light waves are made of electrons. When they touch each other, there will be electrical charge in the eye. Similarly, electrical charge in other. When ear touches a sound wave, there will be electrical charge in it. Electrons get stimulated. And the charge means there is a sort of electrical energy formed in the sensory organs. And once there is electrical charge in the sense organ, it sends certain electrical signals to the brain, and the brain recognizes the cause of the electrical charge and form a mental image of something. When you see something, when you hear something, you experience only the mental image created by the sensory signals. And they are illusions like images in a mirror, or a TV screen, or a cinema screen, or in a picture. Once you are enlightened, your sensations are there, but you are not carried away by your sensations, sensory experiences. Because you realize that without any sensory experience, you can realize the ultimate bliss of mind. Mind that is not burdened by thoughts and feelings is blissful. It is that blissful state of mind that is called nirvana. The Buddhist meditation called insight meditation is training the mind to be aware of sensory experiences, sensations, sensory perceptions without thinking of them. Liking means you are thinking, I like that. Disliking means you are thinking, I dislike that. Ignorance means you are thinking, I don't know, I can't understand. When you are inside meditation called Vidassana Bhavana in Pali, the Buddhist path to enlightenment, you experience sensory perceptions, but you don't think of them. You don't think of them because you realize that all sensory perceptions are born to decay and die. They are momentary. They are only sparks in the mind. Like a spark, it appears to disappear instantly. Therefore, nothing can be attached to. You can't hold on to anything. If you can't hold on to something, you can't throw something away. And such a mind is free from holding on to or throwing away. That means the mind is free from its main activities of pushing and pulling. You like something means you pull it. Doesn't allow it to go. You want it to continue with you. Dislike means you want to push something. Ignorance means the mind is confused. Liking, disliking and ignorance lead to thinking. Enlightened mind is free from thinking. It is a non-thinking mind. Non-thinking mind is the supreme bliss one can experience in one's own life. But at the final death of the enlightened one, there is no more rebirth. That means not only thinking, but also sensation becomes completely eradicated at the final passing away. Thinking gets eradicated at the enlightenment. Sensing of sense objects will remain there as long as the body is living. When the body dies, there is no sensation too. Ultimate bliss called nirvana is freedom from even sensation. Then there is a mind free of both thinking and sensation. Till that final step, the ultimate bliss that we can realize in our own life is a mind free of thinking, free of mental images. A mind that is not attached to mental objects, that does not resent mental objects, but also that does not ignore mental objects. That is, accepting things as they are. We are unhappy when we cannot accept things as they are. A Buddhist view, an enlightened view, is a realistic view. We have to accept the world as it is. We have to accept things as they are, because that is their way. Therefore, enlightened mind, accepting things means do not think of them, accepting things as they are. That is a blissful state of mind that we can experience in our own life.